Sorry about that. I had to just quickly do some couple texts, but okay, we're back. Dr. Jinx, another author without an author's page, has wrote the next one called The Killer Thermostat. So what is it like? You try to change the temperature and then angry dad comes at you with a baseball bat? Like what? What is this all about? Because like we don't really have that much of an issue with like temperature here. Of course, there's days where like this apartment here gets like super warm during the summer and all this stuff, and then you have to activate the air condition, and then like during the winter you have the ovens on, not like I have portable ovens, or you have like actual heating system on, so on and so forth. But I don't think in Europe we have that much of the stereotype of like, oh, the dad will get angry at you if you fuck around with the thermostat. Object class safe special containment procedures SCP-2297 is to be magnetically suspended in a safe class storage locker that is not parallel or perpendicular to the floor of the room in which the storage locker is kept. This storage locker must be assessed for damages once every 24 hours. If the safe class storage locker has been rendered inoperable and or unsuited for the containment of SCP-2297, an on-site supervisor must be notified immediately. Description: SCP-2297 has the appearance of a Bosch RTH 6450 D1009 511 day programmable thermostat. Oh, sure. I guess if we look it up, it will show us what it looks like. So here we go. Let's look it up real quick. Yeah. Not sure if that was necessary to have all that detail, but yeah, there we go. Of note, SCP-2297 is unique internal composition inside. Of note is SCP-2297's unique internal composition. Inside the casing of SCP-2297 rests a fleshy interior composed of various organs whose functions remain mostly unknown. Though visual comparison liken them to the lungs and kidneys found in humans, the flesh itself is highly resistant to mechanical sampling using inside the case, comparison like in the lungs and kidneys found in humans. The flesh itself is highly resistant to mechanical sampling using conventional tools. Thus, the use of projectional radiology has been necessitated. These tests were able to reveal a system composed of valves and flaps responsible for the intake and output of oxygen. A proposal to use more invasive forms of sampling is currently awaiting approval. SCP-2297 will remain in a dormant state indefinitely so long as it does not rest face up on a flat surface. When mounted or placed on a flat surface, SCP-2297 will activate and display one of the several messages in the following format. X is normal. These messages pertain to the anomalous conditions that will be exhibited within the room of SCP-2297 is activated. Determined by the displayed message, the environment and temperature of the room SCP-2297 occupies will be altered drastically. This effect steadily increases in intensity upon activation of SCP-2297, before instantaneously dissipating 4 minutes after activation. After SCP-2297 has carried out a full, uninterrupted 4 minutes of its chosen effect, it functions as a normal thermostat until removed and reactivated. Those located within the same room as SCP-2297 are not concerned with the effects of change in temperature and environment and do not believe themselves to be in any danger. So if you're like in a sudden in a volcano, you're like, oh no, this is normal. The messages and the corresponding effects documented thus far can be found in Addendum 1. SCP-2297 only affects the specific room in which it was activated. SCP-2297 appears to self-define a room as any area that is enclosed by walls, a floor, a ceiling, and a distinct structural element dividing the room from the rest of the structure. These divisions can range from a doorway to a change in elevation, such as a flight of stairs or a ladder. Repeated testing in a singular room setup yielded many different results and led to the conclusion that SCP-2297 determines for itself what is and what is not a room. SCP-2297 also recognizes it has been placed in an outdoor area and will not activate when placed outside. Further testing in this environment is low priority due to the many precautions necessary for such potential and dangerous experiment. SCP-2297 was recovered after the conference, an event notable for being a gathering of scientists dedicated to the preservation of the environment. An agent embedded within the local police force notified the Foundation of the presence of anomalous activity after being dispatched to the scene of the incident. All attendees of the conference were found dead in conference room 417. The cause of death were initially labeled as respiratory failure from smoke inhalation and or self-immolation, but were later determined to be immolation by SCP-2297. Although SCP-2297 has some notable cognitive abilities based on previous conducted research, it does not seem to have any reason for or predictable order in which it carries out its anomalous abilities at this time. And here we have an addendum 1. Message: fire is normal. Effect: the average temperature of the room increased from 23 degrees Celsius to 1113 degrees Celsius over a period of 4 minutes. And look at that. Look at the song right below me. Fitting. Results: a single D-class subject indicated no signs of discomfort or pain as his body was burning. He did not display any symptoms of respiratory distress or succumb to respiratory failure before expiring from fire-related injuries, despite the room having purposefully inadequate ventilation. Ice is normal. The average temperature of the room decreased from 23 degrees Celsius to minus 195 degrees Celsius over a period of 4 minutes. A singular D-class reported no changes in movement capabilities, temperature, or comfort for the entire duration of the test. 3 D-class personnel responded similarly. The only difference of note being that the D-class huddled together for warmth in what would be the final stages of profound hypothermia, despite all D-class claiming otherwise. All test subjects survived testing due to the short exposure time as predicted. So it looks like your body will react in a way that like fits to the whatever the environment is, but your mind will be like, no, we're not doing that. Message: nothing is normal. Effect: the average temperature of the room is increased from 23 degrees Celsius to 36 degrees Celsius over a period of 4 minutes. Testing was inconclusive. Repeated testing has resulted in subjects who claimed to be either melting, freezing, or simply dying. A test conducted with several D-class in the same room resulted in each subject reporting a different temperature and condition. Well, nothing is normal, so it makes sense. Despite their claims that the D-class were never observed to be suffering from any of the described conditions and were fine once removed from the testing room. Evaluation to determine whether or not the simulated pain inflicted will have long-term psychological effects on the D-class is still on the way. Height is normal. The average air pressure of the room decreased from 100 kPa to 20 kPa over a period of 4 minutes. Air inside the room condenses, producing a fine mist inside the test chamber. Researchers noted increased heart rate and lower blood circulation in the D-class subjects. A post-test autopsy on one subject revealed a severe accumulation of fluids in the lungs. Despite this, all D-class continued to report that they feel fine during testing and none succumbed to the effects of the lowered air pressure until after leaving the testing room. Well, at least some of them survive, you know. Water is normal. The specific humidity of the room increased from an average of 7.6205 gram per kilogram, 44%, to a specific humidity of 37.434 grams per kilogram, 214% over a period of 4 minutes. Results: all D-class testers were observed to have difficulty breathing, with 2 of the D-class hyperventilating mid-test. Despite the observed hyperventilation, both D-class were able to interact and communicate with other D-class in the test chamber. When researchers requested in response from the affected D-class, they either refused to communicate or were incapable of doing so. Messages is normal. The environment of the room changed from a controlled temperature of 23 degrees Celsius, consistent air pressure and humidity to one of the with averages of and of note were the runic markings that appeared on the floor and ceiling, as well as the coating of that formed on the walls of the test chamber. Results expunged, with all D-class quoting numerous relating texts found in the Vine comedy. After 4 minutes of continued, all D-class underwent a type that 4 planar shift. All D-class personnel involved are to be considered lost and unrecoverable. Research into what caused these results and if they can be replicated for further study is ongoing. So how about so how do you get the temperature that would be ideal, one that would not immediately get you killed or put your body in an uncomfortable position? How, what do you do? What do you say? What has to happen? I'm very lucky that I don't have to deal with thermostat issues in the family, but I think that would be the least of my problems with this SCP. I'm now slowly starting to get tired. It is nearly midnight over here. But I feel like I did better than yesterday. Yesterday I just felt fucking way too exhausted, but today I'm feeling a lot better.